Greetings, geeks and geekerellas. It is me. I am back. Let's do this. I've got places to be, especially tomorrow, so I need to put this up fast. And also, Black Lightning, which I'm talking about. Sorry, jumping ahead. Was not that great in my opinion, so I don't want to focus on bad, so let's do this, and let's do this quick, and hopefully my camera doesn't die on me midway. Alright, so spoiler alert, if you hadn't seen it, go watch it, then come back and tell me what you think. Comments down below. Summing up what I thought, it's not great. I mean, it's good, but it's very underwhelming, just like the season as a whole has been. But anyway, let's get into actual specifics. So, Jen and Khalil are on the run, and right as I say all that, my memory card runs out. Sorry about that. Getting back to what I was saying, follow Jen. Khalil's been poisoned by Splicer, and she's still on the run from them. And Khalil's basically dying. If it wasn't for his whole superpower stuff, we find out that he probably would be dead, like hours ago. So Tobias isn't happy, but she's like, oh well. And so they're holed up at this, looks like a farm or factory, and we get more of them working together type thing that we saw last week, because that's what this episode was, just a copy of last week with a couple good and bad additions, but we'll get to that. So basically, he's dying, he's almost dead, and Jen starts to think, and Jen's a smart person, so she calms down. I think the psychic chick, her therapist, reaches out to her, or just she's using her knowledge of her to create her own mindscape. But anyway, Jen finds a way to calm down and think about her powers and think about her smarts and work through it. And so she finds Splicer, and it finds out the Splicer's watching them, and then uses that to surprise Splicer, to shock her, to tase her, and then to lock her up, knock her out, and then tie her up, and then use her own poison against her and get her to give her the antidote. Which, that's a big move on Jen, but also she's now using her powers. Like Supergirl said in the mid-season finale last week, powers are like muscles. The more we use them, the more we get control of them. Or so I've heard. Who said being about superpowers? Anyway, so she gets the antidote for Khalil. They get out. Basically, only other new thing is that they say I love you to each other. And again, he says you shouldn't be with me, and she says screw you, I'm staying with you. And that was their story. Yeah, I know, very innovative. Jeff, Jen, and Gamby's story is just looking for Jen. They have a really hard time. They fight. Gamby actually manages to flip Jeff, which that's badass. And I will give them their creds. The actors, Cress and Gamby and Anissa's actors, they're doing a good job with what they're given, but they're not given that much. Because their whole story can be summed up to, fight about Jen. Now let's calm down from fighting and actually think about it. And, oh yeah, we can use the fact that Jen's lightning to hone in on her using Jeff's powers. So they do, and they find where they've been hanging out. Oddly enough, they do this weird thing where they see someone tied up who's stumbling away, and Jeff uses his powers, and they think that it was Jen, maybe. And that also leads to the worst part about the episode, in my opinion, but I'll get to that. So, actually, that's basically their story, said and done. Now let's talk about the worst part about the episode. Lynn. I like Lynn. I like her actor. But what the fuck? This was so weird. Because Lynn just decides, oh yeah, I can't live with not knowing what's going on with my baby, so I'm gonna go to the mom of the other woman, the mom of the other person that's with my baby, see if she knows anything. She finds out about Khalil's dad. She goes to investigate Khalil's dad with a fucking shotgun attached to her for some goddamn reason. Sorry. But she talks to the dad. The dad's reasonable. He says, I hate... Basically, the dad's role is just to say that Khalil and Tobias are no longer working together. That's all. Like, he wasn't an evil person. He wasn't a bad person. He was all nice. So no reason for the shotgun, Lynn. And then we see Lynn where after Jen and them have left and they've come back and thought that Jen was kidnapped, Lynn jumps already to the fact of, is she dead? And he tells her, I don't know. What the fuck? What the fuck? And then now let's talk about the best part about the episode. Billy from Power Rangers, the movie. I believe the actor's name is R.J. Cyler. He's awesome. I like him in everything that I've seen him in. This is no exception. And I bet that part of the reason why this is so good is because him bouncing off Tobias' actor. It was really good and a really personable and relatable, reasonable story between like the origins of Tobias working his brain and using his smarts to likely create more green light or something. But it was just really cool to see those actors bounce off each other, and I really like those scenes. Basically, it's just, come work for me. No. Come work for me. No. Okay, here's $100,000. Come work for me. Okay. But the way that they did it was a lot more elegant and eloquent than what I just said. But anyway, the last thing that I want to talk about the episode real quick is the fact that it ended with this dude who looked kind of like Don Cheadle with a beard. But the way that he presented himself and everything, he looked kind of like it. He kind of acted a lot like Manchester Black meets Nightcrawler, where he's a teleporter, but he's kicking everyone's ass, and he's using guns and stuff, because of course this is the universal symbol for gun, not this. Anyway, He's really cool, but there was nothing said about him, just that he's coming to Freeland. And that he killed a whole entire bar full of Scorpion members. So, ooh, don't know who he works for. But anyway, hopefully he will be better used than Splicer, who I do like, and Looker, who I like but was underutilized. But anyway, join me tomorrow where we will be doing Riverdale. Hopefully this will be better and we will end the CW stuff on a high. And for the record, I'm not saying that this episode of Black Lightning and this season so far of Black Lightning has been bad. I'm just saying that it's kind of lackluster. Especially after last season and especially after this week of CW stuff just being Elseworlds and then Legends where they were like, what the fuck? And then Black Lightning, and it's basically a copy of last week's episode. So, I'm saying, not bad, just lackluster and a bit disappointing. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Till next time, and beyond.